What's up, guys? Sub-Zerek here, back for another Avada review. Today, we're Avada reviewing a player that needs a little bit of introduction if you haven't heard of them before. This is Huanmie. So, Huanmie is a Chinese TFT player, and he is arguably the GOAT of TFT. If you just look at this list of accomplishments, you will see some insane stuff here. So, just looking at championships here, 11th at the Fates World Championship, won Reckoning, then came third in Dragonlands, went third in the Chinese regionals. Essentially, you can see he's just stacking up this money in prize money. Went third to fourth at Esports World Cup. So Huanmie, one of the most accomplished players of all time, a former world champion, and the only question is he going to win Worlds again? We've never had a repeat Worlds winner at well, we've had them at Worlds. We've never had someone win Worlds twice, and this time we might actually see it. And so I want to VOD review Huanmie, just see where he's at going into the tournament. Looks like we're starting off with Artifact Anvil as our portal. So yeah, also continuing the theme of watching some international in-houses. Look at the right side there. You see some insane players, a lot of Chinese and Korean players. So there's Chen, Ryue 62nd, and of course Huanmie from China, Dish Soap from North America, Og from, I think they're EMEA player, and then SCSC from Korea, and then Mald. Someone will have to tell me where Mald's from. I don't actually know Mald, but okay. So we start off the game. Shyvana pair is catching my eye a little bit here. We don't have anything to play it with yet, but there are a lot of Ornn artifacts that can make Shyvana insane. So I wonder if Huanmie's interested in holding onto this Shyvana pair. Looking like no, actually. Wow, no priority on this Shyvana pair. All right, and first Augment here. We're gonna reroll a couple of the options really quickly here. Let's look at this again quickly. So yeah, I mean Unified. A lot of these Augments are really poor options to start the game with, just because they're stronger later in the game. But early game, Unified, it's hard for you to get Unified onto your entire board because then you have to just like backline everybody if you're level 3, or backline most of your units and only have one frontliner. And then Blistering Strikes once again. Like there's not a lot of healing going on in the early game. So I think rerolling those makes a lot of sense. Open up Tiniest Titan or Tiny Titans, which is not amazing. Transfusion, I think this is called, or is that the other one? But the one where when you drop 50 HP, you get 4 components is probably the strongest looking at these, and Golden Remover is fine as well. But yeah, I would think this would be the pick here. Or an artifact here, so we kind of have to start looking at, direction-wise what we want to play this game. I would honestly say you just pick the strongest one in a vacuum here, just because we're going to get a lot of items later in this game, so it's really hard to say exactly what our direction is. We really only know our direction once we get all of those components. So if you're looking for just generically strong stuff here, Mana Zane is quite solid onto units like Gwen down the line, or if you can get to like a Nora, it's fantastic. Zanya is also similarly good on like stuff like Gwen, stuff like like Rise. I believe it's pretty solid on as well. And yeah, it looks like he's going to pick up the Mana Zane. It also fits nicely with the opener that we have here. Going to take the free refresh here. I imagine that's what that is. Yep. A little bit harder when all of the information is in Chinese, but we can get there. We've been far enough into this set that we can figure out what everybody's charms are, right? At least to some degree. But yeah, I mean this opener looks nice. I wonder actually. I mean, 4 Ziggs to start. If our next shop has a Ziggs in it, I wonder if Huanmie ever decides to just play around Ziggs Reroll. I mean, I have to imagine Mana Zane Ziggs Reroll is quite good with the fact that he's a pretty low mana unit, and that getting these repeat casts off will allow him to just start one-tapping people. Not another Ziggs yet, but still 4. I don't know. You could hold out hope, and we can obviously make 10 gold here. Branching out into Hunter there. There was someone who looked like they were playing Jinx. That guy, obviously portable forward, so they don't know what they have yet. Or delayed forge, whatever it's wait, when I don't have them in English, it makes things a lot harder. But yeah, this guy also looks like they're really angling it towards Jinx, obviously with the Hunter +1 and the Unending Despair, which has got to be pretty solid onto the Wukong. So I mean, you take Hunter +1, you kind of got to play Jinx, right? Well, we'll see. I guess they could do some kind of fast 8 Olaf type setup, but that would be quite surprising. But yeah, I think we're going to continue to sit onto this board. You can get a Vanguard in or a Wukong. But yeah, I just like getting the Galio in onto this board, and so far this is looking good, man. I'm so hyped. By the way, Worlds. I gave you guys the heads up the other day. World starts tomorrow morning. If you're in America time zone, if you're in other places, I don't know, figure it out. 4 a.m. Pacific time, as I believe when it starts. So if you're East Coast, it's actually pretty good. If you're not East Coast, it's pretty bad. But you know, if you really, really want to watch some TFT, I mean, I'm probably just gonna wake up at my normal time for work and then put it on the second monitor while I work, which should be pretty fun. So we have a lot of stuff open here. We have glove, we have belt, and we have tier here. Huanmie opts to take glove here, which is kind of interesting. An idea of maybe like a TG that's going to go on to maybe like a Fiora down the line if we're playing some kind of like Gwen Fiora type setup. That is tends to be pretty good with the mana Zane. We'll see though. There's a lot of different options, but I mean the second glove, it makes me think of a TG, but I mean, so far we're not seeing it slammed. I don't know what else. I guess it could be Mana Zane, and you play towards like Varus type stuff, and this could be glove for like a double IE, but I don't know. Is Mana Zane Varus any good? I mean, I was thinking down the line you could put it onto Xerath, but I don't think it's even quite good onto Xerath, though. I mean, he's holding some Arcana units. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, maybe Ari as well, like Ari Zoe type stuff. But if we're gonna do that, then we would have to be holding onto the Zoe here. So yeah, I'm not actually sure at this point what Huanmie really wants to angle for this game. It'll reveal itself. This is not a very easy game to pilot, honestly, looking at our start here. We are win, loss, and if we win this last fight against somebody weak, it's going to be perfect no streak. We'll see what this Ziggs 2 can do, but probably cannot get through this giant Lilia, so we are at least going to have a little bit of a streak, a 2-loss streak here, but it's not a great start. We haven't lost that much HP for our Augment here. There's a Kog'Maw too. I mean, Mana Zane Kog'Maw doesn't sound terrible, but it doesn't sound amazing. Yeah, this is the person who I was thinking was going to be playing towards. I thought they were going to play towards Jinx with the idea that they can just take perfect items. But actually, it looks like maybe they're playing towards some kind of like Blaster Vanguard setup with those items going on to a Muerto Kaiser. But we will see here with the rest of the game going on. We have another belt here. Could be a Warmugs, I guess, onto your tank, though. This is a comp if we end up playing like Warriors type stuff. It's a comp that I feel like it doesn't have like a really, really important tank. Sure, you can throw like a Rakan onto your board and like down the line, if you find like a Morgana, tank items can go onto her. But it's kind of like when you have double belts, I mean, what are you making here? It looks like Guardbreaker, yeah. The Guardbreaker plus the Mana Zane here in this spot, looking decent enough. Also, this is a really, really scary Cinder spot from SCSC. Already triple item Cinder, already stacking up. I wonder if that's just gonna be a Cinder game. I imagine it will be. All right, next Augment here, and Huanmie is really, really excited about this. I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense actually. Restart mission here. Our board sucks, and restart mission. We also don't have a lot of gold sitting on our bench here, so we're really losing very little by picking this up. I think that's a perfect pickup from Huanmie here, and let's see what we get. We get a great tank in Wukong. The only thing we're kind of missing is damage here. We're gonna have to itemize maybe like Zillion as our Mana Zane holder, which is not the best thing in the world. We do already have this kind of interesting just inbuilt synergy. We got the Shiv 2 and the Nico 2, which is pretty nice, and I guess the Elise 2 as well. And yeah, these damage items are going to go into Zillion just because he's an okay damage dealer. I mean, the Zillion unit is honestly like the MVP of the entire set, in my opinion. This unit has been so consistently strong. You can put damage items on him, he can do work. You can put nothing on him and he can do work. You can put just like one little mana item on and he'll do work. Like, I feel like he is just a monster all the time. I imagine we want to actually hold some of these Frost units in case we pick up like a Swain, and then our board could be, yeah, I was about to say our board could be for shape Swain here, though it looks like that's not really what we're interested in. We're just gonna get Preserver in here. I have to imagine 4 shape is a big upgrade on this board, especially for Preserver. The only downside to doing that is, of course, we miss out on a little bit of damage. But yeah, I'm actually shocked that Huanmie wants to play this board over the 4 shape board. I wonder if he's going to get it in next round and if this is a mistake from him or if this is actually an intentional choice. Because obviously, you know, Preserver is solid onto Wukong, and we do need a bit more damage. That's the only thing. But I don't think this bard's doing that much damage-wise. Yeah, I mean, he dealt less than the Shivani. He dealt okay, almost 1k, but yeah, nothing crazy. Curious to see item priority here, also from Huanmie. There are units on this carousel. There is a Gwen if you want to just guarantee the Gwen. Yeah, and he is going to guarantee the Gwen so that he can put these items onto her. Though I don't know exactly what this cloak's going to become. Adaptive Helm is an okay option, but you already have the Mana Zane that's going on to Gwen, so double mana items generally gonna be a no-no. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think the level up is very, very easy here, though. Gets the 4 shape in, and yeah, I would love to have Frost in here over the bard here. That's why I wanted to hold on to the Twitch, but okay, we'll see. Looks like it is gonna be adaptive. Wow, okay. I wonder where it's gonna go. I mean, is it really going to be Mana Zane adaptive onto Gwen? I guess you could Mana Zane the Karma. Statistics, I think, really like Mana Zane on Gwen over Mana Zane on Karma. It's, it makes sense that it would be good on Karma, but the statistics really just don't like it that much. I think it's just because Karma is not that good of a unit. And so if you're relying on Karma to take your Ornn item and to do the carrying, you're usually in a pretty bad spot. Karma is really just your Morello bot. And sometimes in a really long fight you can take units down, but yeah, this version of Karma is just not it. I remember early set Karma. She was an absolute monster, was healing your entire board up, doing insane. Rest in peace, Karma. Gone but not forgotten. But hey, looks like we're finally going to end up losing a fight here to this disgusting Blitzcrank. This Unending Despair item is honestly, it feels like one of the most overtuned Ornn items. Just the amount of damage you can do through shielding is gross. Also, he's got a couple of mages in the team planner, which yeah, okay, why not? All right, but I mean, the transition is actually quite straightforward for Huanmie. Yeah, like oftentimes you'll play around some amount of preservers. We already have the Zillion and the Bardo here. That's a potential death cap, or it could be JG Spark actually. Looking at this, I wonder if we're just gonna sack one and then level and roll next round, because like we're not that we're a little uncontested, though there's also a Morello that could be made. But okay, it looks like, yeah, it is going to be the JG Spark getting picked up here. He wants these. I mean, I think these items on Gwen are beautiful. The JG plus the Guardbreaker makes a lot of use of the crit from Guardbreaker, and Guardbreaker just solid item onto to Gwen. She's doing that snip, 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 and so if the first snip procs a shield, then the extra snips are getting damage from the Guardbreaker. So I like this a lot. And hey, 81 gold here. We get to level up next round. Oh wow, I wonder if you still take Spellcaster's Toolbox here, because this augment is really, really broken, but we actually, like, we already have the Mana Zane, so I feel like this is actually not that high value here. I guess you could just go for Giant and Mighty would be the best option, and we're seeing it. But oh, the What the Forge pick. I mean, I will say, this is an excellent, this is a comp, especially if you get Fiora onto the board as well, where you can play so many different Ornn items and be very, very pleased. We get a Sniper's Focus. Ooh, we get some decent ones for Gwen, though. I mean, you can't go double Mana Zane, so one of them's going to have to go onto Karma, I guess. I'm going to just continue, well, start really rolling down here, I think. Well, I'm surprised. Why aren't we rolling deeper here? Wow, I'm shocked that he's not rolling this deep. Ooh, there's a lot of options there, actually. I kind of want to go back and look at that again, because the opposite take Trenchcoat there. But there's also Innervating Locket. I mean, Innervating Locket, I guess, is not that good here, because we have we already have, like, you don't really want to Innervating Locket the Gwen with the Mana Zane already. Suspicious Trench, yeah, okay, I could see it. Just Suspicious Trenchcoat here actually just makes the most sense in general. And we'll see where it ends up going. He's gonna throw it onto Shiv for now. Where does he want it later? I guess we'll find out. I was thinking you could just throw it onto the Gwen. This is just, I mean, it's a great item onto Shyvana, but I hope that we're not gonna have a Shyvana on our board the entire game, and these items that are going to go on Karma are just sitting on the Zillion right now because we have our mover. Makes sense. But yeah, I'm shocked he didn't actually roll deeper there. We got to roll now, I have to imagine. Okay, now he's starting to roll here. Just trying to, yeah, stay open to a lot of different options there, not holding on to some of the other stuff. But look at that. That's Rise pair. That's Taric pair. There is an idea of kind of like Warrior Rise. We did a VOD review way back when of Robin Songs playing it. Looks like, though, that's not what Kwame is interested in this game. The Mana Zane just not an ideal item on Rise, I guess, and so he doesn't want to go for it. We did pick up the Gwen too, but ooh, this is a pretty bad loss here, actually. We got to keep rolling, Mr. Huanmie. We got to put together a strong board, or we're going to be very, very upset. Obviously, we have What the Forge, so it doesn't matter what unit we pick up, so we can just pick up, well, it doesn't matter what item component we pick up, so we can just pick up whatever unit we're most interested in. The Melio tends to be quite good with this, because you can farm items onto your other units, so, we can farm like maybe like a BT onto our Gwen here and give her some healing. So we'll see here. Makes the Stair Axe, of course. Gets the 4 components, which is so gross here, actually. We were so far into the game, I had forgotten that we even took this Augment here. Oh, the Morgana is so good as well. Let's look at our items now. So we have Mana Zane. We have the Ascension gem thingy. Looks like the Trenchcoat's going to end up going to the Fiora. Prowess Claw has to kind of go there. And yeah, I mean, I love this. The Mana Zane onto Melio here. Just the ability for him to farm a bunch of items for everyone. And then these items onto Karma. I mean, our setup looked really, really rough last round. But once we got that cash out, got all of those components, I mean, this spot looks so, so good now. And we've still got the Wukong too. I think the Wukong too is really, he's kind of like the unsung hero of this board. I think a lot of people wouldn't think that much about the fact that we got this Wukong 2 from Restart Mission, and we're using him as our main tank now, but he's actually doing an insane amount of work. And yeah, I mean, honestly, okay, now that I look at it, like, this Trenchcoat Fiora looks insanely good. Just every single time she pops the trench coat. I mean, she pops it right at the start of combat there, but then all of her clones start casting. The clones make it there. Like, yeah, it's actually disgusting here. And these, speaking of disgusting, these Gwen items are so good as well. And even if we don't get to BIS on everybody, we have the Melio with Mana Zane. That once he hits that first cast, he's just going to start farming items, an insane amount of items for everybody. Ooh, double duplicators actually is really nice for just finishing our board off. Obviously, you can take whatever you want here. Whoa, it's a go 9 actually here, with the idea that yeah, we can hit stuff like Morgana too. He says, a lot of people say build your board on 8 before you go 9, like find your board, and we're still missing a lot of stuff on 8, but with double duplicators, who cares, man? Yeah, there it is. I mean, that's items onto Morgana here. We're gonna DFG the Morgana and light shield, something light shield, the Fiora, which is kind of interesting, but I mean, you have to agree with the play. That was a ballsy level 9 from Huanmie, but with the double duplicators, I think it makes a lot of sense. All right, and yeah, he's looking at potentially just getting out of this Fiora. The only downside is she is pretty good trait-wise for the Gwen, but I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense as far as moving items over. Really, yeah, this Trench Coat onto Morgana looks gross. The Prowler's Claw onto the Briar looks so good as well. And then, yeah, these items just like this, with the idea being we don't need to necessarily completely stack items because we have ourselves Emilio that's going to farm over items. I mean, this is so capped. Also, where are these multiple components coming from? Is he taking sticky fingers every round? I mean, it's a little bit hard to read every charm, obviously, because I don't speak Chinese, but I mean, he could have maybe farmed one off Melio there, but I feel like this guy's farming a component every round. Is there a secret, part of what the Forge where it farms you components? I certainly don't think so. Okay, we're fighting a really strong Cinder board. This will be a good test for our board, but obviously the Morgana 2 is so gross. The Briar 2 is so gross as well. I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine this fight being close, even though that is a really strong board from SCSC. But I mean, look at this. This board is disgustingly capped. I have to say, and I mean, really hats off to Huanmie for obviously he was thinking the entire game about the fact that he was going to get these 4 components, and this combination of it's not called transfusion in this first silver augment and the what the forge here. It is disgusting. Unending Despair here has to go into the Morgana, right? You have to remove her, move like DFG to potentially someone else. Wow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that he didn't just move DFG to someone like Melio or Karma, and then just put this onto the Morgana. But I mean, I guess his idea is that these items are quite good onto Morgana. The DFG, I mean, I'm actually quite surprised by that play, but I mean, with how well Huanmie is playing, with how strong this board looks, you can't disagree with it. It's just an interesting idea that I would think. I've seen so many Morganas with Unending Despair just be absolute monsters, so I'm surprised. Obviously, Rakan gets shielding value as well, so there's something to it. All right, gonna roll down a bit here. I think Huanmie's idea here is that 62nd is quite strong, so we want to be as strong as possible when we fight him. So we're gonna roll down here, be as strong as possible. And yeah, this Ari comp is so gross, man. All the work that we've done to put together this disgusting level 9 board, and we're actually potentially, oh my god, just barely gonna lose that fight. I think the MVP in this fight was Morgana not getting Trenchcoat procced fast enough. And yeah, I think after that, he's saying, you know what, I've got this remover. I do actually need to get, I imagine he's moving on Unending Despair over to Morgana at this point, saying, you know what, I made a mistake and I shouldn't have not put that there. All right, item here, pick up Eternal Winter. Wow, that's a great pickup. That can go onto Rakan. I mean, oh, and we get Ornn Artifact from our item. Oh my god. I mean, we could go double Eternal Winters on both sides. He's gonna go Nash Shores. Wow. Okay. And if we're gonna use another remover, we gotta use it. Okay, we do use it there. Eternal Winter. The Unending Despair ends up over to the Morgana. He keeps the Loons on there and then puts the DFG onto Melio. Okay. I don't want to say it, but I'm officially a better player than Huanmie. He made my call around late. And it's going to cost him the blood price. He actually goes 3rd this game. Just if he hadn't, maybe if he had made that, so I mean, he probably wouldn't have saved IHP, but he actually might have. Wow, that's actually crazy. I mean, an insanely strong board from Huanmie, but it just goes to show how strong these reroll comps are. Huanmie, the bastion of hope against reroll comps, he puts together an insanely strong 2-star 5 cost board and actually ends up just losing just because of how, I mean, look at this Ari setup. It's disgusting. I know some people, someone in the last comments was like, I really like when you like finish out the VOD. And so, you know what, if because this is in-houses, because this player is actually going to sit into the game for the rest of it, sure, we can watch 62nd and SCSC battle it out here until the end of the game. Ooh, that's the is it called the World or is it a different one? The World, but it's the one that gives you all the 4 costs, of course, which is a decent gold injection for SCSC. He really just took it as an econ augment, it looks like, because it's not like it doesn't look like he's looking for any kind of 3-star 4 cost. So just to summarize, we have this 4 Vanguard. It's a Vanguard Syndra board, but it's got like Karma as well. It's yeah, it's just like Vanguard Syndra, really kind of, and then looks like a little bit of Arcana in there, a little bit of Eldritch, kind of playing a little bit of everything for SCSC. And then he looks like, I mean, actually, it's kind of close, right? Didn't 62nd win one of those, and then SCSC won the other one? Interesting. Well, we'll see how the rest of the fights go. But yeah, I mean, a pretty close battle between these two cost hero comps, which I think are the 2 ones that have really emerged as going to be the strongest comps of the patch and of the World Championships. I mean, we'll see tomorrow what the games end up looking like, because yeah, Worlds tomorrow. Oh, I'm so hyped to see how our America's reps do. I think we have some fantastic reps from America's, but I mean, everyone else is really scary. You can see in every single VOD review that I do, there are scary, really strong players. So yeah, it's hard to say. Syndra wins this one. I mean, Syndra is infinitely scaling, and Ari is not. Ari, you know, is going to hit the top of its power level, honestly, a little bit lower oftentimes than, you know, something like this, because Ari board is playing a lot of 1-cost reroll, whereas this board is playing a lot of higher cost units, which, you know, just tend to scale better, especially if you can hit something like a Zerath 2, or, you know, like a Mordekaiser 3. The Mordekaiser 3 is looking like it's not on the board, but hey, we'll see what this Syndra can do. Also, level 10 for the Syndra versus level 9 for 62nd. It's kind of looking like a massacre. Yeah, 62nd down, and it's a dub for SCSC. And a really fun game. Cool game from Huanmie. Cool game with that Syndra board as well. So a really fun game to watch. And here, let me pause here to show you guys like all the final boards and stuff. But can I? Yeah, look at that beautiful pause there. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go watch Worlds tomorrow morning if you want to. If not, I will have VOD reviews of Worlds every single day after Worlds. And then basically right after Worlds, we go into set 13. So TFT, one of the best things about it is that we're always very quickly moving to the next thing. There is a very small, very short, you know, off season, quote unquote, for TFT. So hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys tomorrow for Worlds type stuff. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Bye.